You know, I don't like when someone gets by just because they're famous and they have this big personality and everybody loves them. The problem with that is people are going to be rooting against him now in the next fight. And so now he's going to go in there against someone, and maybe he's going to go in against someone who's on another level.
They talk so much. They act like they invented the sport. They talk, and at the end of the day, they do what they are told.
The UFC world is on fire right now. Joe Rogan has jumped into the chaos after Ilia Topuria clashed with Khabib's team at an airport, calling it a war that the UFC must book immediately. Meanwhile, Jon Jones has reignited his bitter feud with Daniel Cormier after Cormier stated that, if given the chance, he would have killed Jones. Justin Gaethje is also threatening to walk away from the sport due to being snubbed for title opportunities, and Paddy Pimblett is getting publicly shut down by top contenders who want no part of him.
Justin Gaethje doubles down. He says it's title or bust.
You haven't mentioned the name Paddy, and I think I'd probably understand why.
No, absolutely. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, if that's
Jon Jones recently rekindled his rivalry with Daniel Cormier, calling himself the most painful thing that's ever happened in Cormier's life. This comment came after Cormier said during a UFC broadcast that, if he could do it all over again, he would have entered Jones's house and killed him. Jones responded on social media, saying, "A blind man can see the mansion I own in Daniel's head. I just didn't realize how deep his hate still runs. Those whippings must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that's ever happened in that man's life." Emotional damage. Of course, Cormier didn't stay quiet.
So the beef between Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones will never end, it seems. You know what I mean? Daniel Cormier says he just is really not the smartest person. During a segment on the UFC 318 weigh-in show, Cormier was asked about where he would like to fight his enemy if he could, and the former two-division champ said he'd like to do it at his house because I kinda want the ability to end him. Jones, in a pair of deleted tweets, responded by saying
he responded on his YouTube channel and quickly made it clear how out of line Jones's comments were. Cormier reminded viewers that he lost his daughter in a tragic car accident in 2003. He said, "You can't say that you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world." He continued, "You say you're the most painful thing when someone has lost a child or had their father murdered. He knows that, and that's how you know you're dealing with a different kind of human being." Cormier emphasized that Jones knowingly brought up such remarks, despite being aware of the tragedies in his life.
Said I wanted to kill him at my house. Those assholes must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. Okay, lot to unpack there. I do a job. I can't omit that. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody. But we can't fight, so it's like, why would I let you occupy space in my head? Only an insecure person would go, immediately, he's talking about me.
"It's very well documented what has happened in my life," Cormier said, referencing both the death of his daughter Caden and the murder of his father. But he didn't stop at defending his personal life. He also called out Jones's intelligence. "He's just really not the smartest person, and once again, it's proven," Cormier said. He pointed out how Jones has repeatedly failed drug tests, tarnishing not just his own legacy but also robbing Cormier of clean closure. Jones and Cormier have fought twice. Jones won both bouts, but the second was overturned to a no contest after he tested positive for turinabol.
I didn't say his name. I'm only talking about what is the news now, and also how stupid he is. But that's Jon Jones that thinks about me. He's still trying to fight me. When I'm retired, they got a dude that wants to fight him and literally begging him to fight. And somebody, tell Jon Jones, get off my page, man.
It's clear the loss still haunts Cormier, not because he can't accept defeat, but because he believes Jones didn't beat him fairly. That's what adds to the frustration, especially when Jones uses their rivalry as a weapon to taunt him publicly. Some UFC insiders argue that Jones crossed a serious line, implying he mentally destroyed Cormier more than real-life tragedies ever could. To many, that's not just disrespectful, it's tone-deaf. There's a difference between trash talk and mocking someone's deepest losses. This time, Jones's comments veered into personal territory that had nothing to do with
deep his hate still runs. Those ass whoopings must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. emotional damage. Emotional damage. But if I was DC and I got beaten twice, dreams ripped away from me.
Still, Jones has always pushed the limits with his words. This isn't the first time he's referenced Cormier's past in a public spat. But this time, Cormier's reaction showed it clearly hit a nerve, not because of the rivalry, but because it shows Jones either doesn't care or purposely ignored something he absolutely knows. Cormier's words were clear. "You cannot say I'm the most painful thing." Then added, "But like I said, you're dealing with a different type of person." Meanwhile, Justin Gaethje may be done with fighting altogether if he doesn't get a title shot soon.
Justin Gaethje doubles down. He says it's title or bust.
You haven't mentioned the name Patty, and I think I'd probably understand why. I mean,
No, absolutely. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, if that's the route that they want me to take, then I don't believe that they need me anymore.
Will he retire? Is this the end? Will he fight on the White House card? Who knows what's going to happen with Justin Gaethje in the future?
Gaethje's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, recently told Submission Radio that Justin is seriously considering retirement if the UFC doesn't book him in a lightweight title fight. Abdelaziz said, "If anyone says he doesn't deserve a title shot," Gaethje said, "I'm not going to fight for the title. I'm just going to hang up my gloves." He added, "I love the UFC, but I feel like the UFC has to love me back, and right now, he doesn't feel that love."
Who do you think could be next for Justin Gaethje?
Justin Gaethje fight the winner. He won 3 of his last 4. He saved the UFC 2 times. They needed him, and he's there. The guy did so much for the sport. And if anyone said he doesn't deserve it, and he said, "I'm not going to fight for the title. I'm just going to hang up my gloves."
Really? So if he doesn't get a title shot, that could be it? We might not see Justin Gaethje again?
Yeah, Jean is a very principled guy, and I never...
Gaethje believes he earned a title shot. He beat Rafael Fiziev and then Dustin Poirier in 2023, 2 top-tier opponents. His KO win over Poirier earned him the symbolic BMF title. At that point, fans and analysts thought he was next in line. But everything changed after he was knocked out cold by Max Holloway, who was moving up from featherweight. Holloway dismantled Gaethje and ended the fight in the final second with one of the most brutal knockouts in recent memory.
Owe him a favor for him stepping in for UFC 300. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Listen, everybody has, their opinions on. Listen, if you're thinking about retiring, you know how I feel about that. You should probably retire. We love Justin Gaethje, and Justin Gaethje did step up, and he's been an exciting, fun fighter to have here in the UFC. But to say, hey, listen, unless you give me a title shot, I'm retiring. That's pretty wacky.
That loss destroyed Gaethje's momentum. He disappeared for almost a year and returned this past March to fight Rafael Fiziev again. But that win didn't say much. Fiziev was a late replacement, hadn't fought in over a year, and had lost his previous 2 bouts. Beating that version of Fiziev didn't put Gaethje back on top. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira jumped ahead and is now scheduled to fight Ilia Topuria for the lightweight belt at UFC 317. Gaethje feels left behind, but some argue the UFC made the right call. He's 0-2 in undisputed title fights, finished by both Khabib and Oliveira. His BMF win over Poirier was entertaining but didn't prove championship-level dominance. And the Holloway fight made it clear, Gaethje may be past his prime.
He's been saying retirement or title shot. He talked about how the UFC begged him to fight Max. I think any smart fan at the time knew that whoever won that fight or lost that fight was going to get a title shot and then lose a title shot. Justin seems very bitter about the Max fight because he comes back, he beats Fiziev, he looks good doing it. But it's like, bro, Arman is going to fight Ilia. I've been very vocal about Arman having another fight before a title shot, but that's most likely what's going to happen. And the fact that
now he's trying to claw his way back into the picture, but the division has moved on. Topuria is undefeated and riding massive hype. Oliveira already finished Gaethje and is still in his prime. In contrast, Gaethje is facing older, more beatable opponents and hasn't put together a streak of wins over top contenders since 2023. Fans remember the war with Poirier, but they also remember Gaethje getting knocked out, submitted, or carried off. Michael Bisping also weighed in on the retirement talk. "It's a bold statement," he said. "But let's say Gaethje never becomes champion, even if he fights 5 more times. I still believe he'll be in the UFC Hall of Fame one day. because of what he's brought to the sport, the excitement, the performances, and embodying that true fighter spirit.